Perk up for this one, because while there is a lot going on, and we've talked about trying to focus on what matters, give you the facts, there is a new threat to the Trump agenda and the strain. It's about the economy, it's about the result of his policies, and it hits on something that we've heard from Americans posting online.
Donald Trump's been president for 1 month and has not done a single thing to lower prices.
I just went to the store. The eggs are still $8. Milk is still $5.
Anybody else just outraged by the prices of groceries nowadays?
This was $8.
Trump fails again. Prices are up. Inflation is up. Trump is a failure.
That's how some people are seeing it, including posting on TikTok, where many, many millions of people keep up with life, whether you call it news or not. It's how people are learning about how things are going. And we also know there's a jobs problem. Jobless claims surging to the highest point in 6 months. Consumer confidence has dropped. We reported on that. And there's multiple factors to that. Nobody's saying that any new president, no matter who it is going to fix it all in 30 days. But as you've seen if you follow the news, Donald Trump has been focused on just about everything except the grocery prices he vowed to bring down. We told you earlier this week about the cost of eggs. We talked about which came first, the bird flu or the high prices. Well, we have a new concern hatching. Coffee prices are up, surging, and it does relate to some of Donald Trump's choices, what in baseball you'd call an unforced error. The trade wars are already squeezing coffee prices. Most Americans, adults anyway, drink coffee every day. So this is something that hits you, and you notice, and you might even remember all the talk about lowering prices last year, and then now you see from eggs to coffee, well, price went up. And there are many ways to think about this. Everyone was celebrating the Saturday Night Live anniversary, and we got to thinking here on The Beat about Chris Farley and how upset people can get if you mess with their coffee.
Sir, do you realize that you are not drinking regular coffee, but Colombian decaffeinated coffee crystals?
What?
I said you're drinking Colombian decaf coffee crystals. What? You son of a... You no good...
Now, that's not the presumed result they were going for. They wanted to be told, wow, it tastes just like regular coffee. That's the joke if you weren't around for the Chris Farley Crystals era. But, and by the way, shout out to Chris Farley. He could bring any skit to life. But the actual reality part of this is you mess with the coffee, you mess with the eggs, you mess with the grocery prices, people notice. And this is specifically one of the things Trump vowed to fix.
And I went on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. Like almost, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries.
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper.
It'll also bring your grocery bill way down. I have more complaints on groceries.
By Paul Krugman, the Nobel Prize-winning economist, writes a newsletter, longtime author, longtime New York Times writer as well. Welcome back.
Hi, good to be on.
Great to have you. It seems like some economic indicators are getting worse. Can you explain to us what's happening? And so far, is the new Trump administration doing the right things to address them, ignoring them, or even doing the wrong things to make them worse?
Well, that's making it worse. The important thing to say, right now, if you're into the jargon, the soft economic data, stuff like consumer confidence, business confidence, is falling off a cliff. The hard numbers, things like employment, we have jobless claims, but that's a noisy number, isn't following suit, but that stuff lags. We're going to get a jobs number next week, but it will actually be the number of jobs in early February and not what's happening now. So it's good. But there's a lot of indications. So, Trump's promise to bring down grocery prices was nonsense. It was always obvious nonsense. What is surprising is that he hasn't even made even a gesture. It's sort of like, okay, you Trumps voted for me. Now I'm going to forget about what you wanted. And his other stuff, it's not just that it does appear, given what he said today, that we're going to put high tariffs on Canada and Mexico, which is disastrous. But there's just this level of uncertainty. There are all these crazy policies out there. And if you're a consumer, you don't know what's coming. If you're a business, if you're in some ways not knowing whether there are going to be massive tariffs is almost worse than knowing that there are going to be massive tariffs. Because if you knew, then, okay, you start to make some investments on that basis. If you don't know, should you be investing as if they're not going to happen? Should you be investing defensively because they are going to happen? Since you don't know, what you do is nothing. There's probably a lot of investment projects being put on hold as we speak. And you can sort of start to see that in the surveys. Again, you won't see it in the official statistics for another few months. But I didn't think. A lot of us thought that Trump would have a honeymoon. He'd be able to coast for 4 or 5 months because he inherited an economy in really good shape with low inflation and low unemployment. But instead, things are falling apart much faster than anyone, I think, really anticipated.
Yeah, that's fair. And certainly the case that, in the old days, there was campaign vows, or in the first term, there were many infrastructure weeks. There's a brazenness to how they're doing it now that has even, as you know, Republicans, I know you follow closely, publicly, in their own very mealy-mouthed way, trying to say, hey, be nicer about the cuts or be careful. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, and if you look at some of the things that appear to be on the chopping block, it looks like there's going to be massive, I'm saying, some people are saying 50% cuts in staffing for the Social Security Administration. Now, that may not immediately mean that people stop getting their checks, but suppose something goes wrong. Suppose your grandmother doesn't get her check, and she says, okay, I'm going to go to my local Social Security office and get this straightened out. Your local Social Security office has been closed because Elon Musk and his Doge children have slashed the payroll. There's nobody there. There's nobody there to answer the phone. So we're going to start to see, we're already seeing hints that a lot of, very ordinary government services, things like getting your Social Security check, things like air traffic control, are going to be, we do not have a lavishly funded government. This is a thing that people imagine.